Chandigarh is a really unique place, a city that's also a union territory and the shared capital of two states. But right now, a single constitutional change is on the table that could rewrite its entire future. And let me tell you, the debate is getting intense. So yeah, a historic shift for Chandigarh's governance is on the table. But why does it matter so much? Well, because this isn't just some minor administrative tweak. No, this is a fundamental shift. We're talking about something that could alter the entire balance of power between the central government, the city, and two states, and it puts the very ideas of federalism and democracy right under the microscope.
Okay, so let's talk about Chandigarh's future. To really get what's going on, you've got to understand just how unique this city is. I mean, it's not just a union territory run by the central government, it's also the shared capital for two states, Punjab and Haryana. And that setup alone, as you can imagine, makes governing it incredibly complex.
All right, let's get right to the heart of this issue. We need to talk about Article 240. Seriously, this entire debate, it all revolves around this one single, powerful article in the Constitution.
So what is Article 240 exactly? Well, to put it simply, it gives the President of India the power to create regulations for certain union territories. But here's the crucial part you need to remember. These regulations carry the exact same weight as laws passed by Parliament. Think about that. In essence, it allows the President to legislate directly for these territories.
And this article isn't some new invention. It's already used to govern places like the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. But take a close look at that list. See a name that's missing? That's right, Chandigarh. Right now, the city is not governed under Article 240, and that is precisely why this proposal is such a massive deal.
This brings us to what this all really means, a direct line of control. So what would this change actually mean in practice? In short, a huge shift in legislative power, creating a direct line of control from the central government straight to the city.
And this comparison here, it really lays it out perfectly. The way things are now, any law for Chandigarh has to go through the full parliamentary process. The debate, the voting, the whole shebang. But under the proposed system, the president could just issue a regulation directly, bypassing Parliament entirely. It's a complete change in how the legislative process works. And look, this isn't just about some abstract legal theory. We're talking about real, tangible control here. The central government could directly change municipal rules, decide the mayor's tenure, or alter service conditions for officials, all without a single vote ever taking place in Parliament.
Okay, but this whole thing isn't just an administrative issue. The impact ripples out, and it touches the deep, and let's be honest, politically sensitive relationship that Chandigarh has with Punjab and Haryana.
You have to remember the history here. Chandigarh was designed as the capital of Punjab. After Haryana was carved out of it back in 1966, the city became a shared capital and a union territory. Ever since then, both states have maintained these really strong historical and emotional claims over it, which makes any change to its status an instant political flashpoint.
So for the states, this all boils down to a fear of losing influence. Leaders in Punjab, in particular, are worried this move weakens their historical claim to the city. And there are practical concerns, too, about being sidelined on everything from city administration to policing coordination.
So, as you can probably guess by now, this proposal has ignited a fierce debate, with really strong arguments on both sides. So let's weigh the pros and the cons.
Okay, on the for side, the argument is all about efficiency. Supporters say this would allow for faster administrative reforms and swifter urban planning, basically cutting through all the parliamentary delays. But on the against side, critics see this as a democratic step backward. They're worried about central overreach, a lack of accountability without that parliamentary debate, and of course, the political message it sends to Punjab.
And this quote right here really hits the nail on the head. The entire debate boils down to this fundamental conflict. Is administrative efficiency more important than democratic accountability? It's that classic tension, that push and pull between streamlined governance and public debate.
Now, here's an interesting thought that's been floating around. Some have speculated that bringing Chandigarh under Article 240 could be a stepping stone towards giving the city its own legislature, kind of like what Delhi or Puducherry have. But it is really important to note that the government has not stated this as a goal. So for now, it's just pure speculation.
All right, so with such strong arguments on both sides, where does this leave us? What comes next? Well, the future of Chandigarh's governance is still very much up in the air.
The key takeaway here is this.
Applying Article 240 would be a landmark shift for Chandigarh. And this isn't just a local issue, it's a national one. It pits the goal of streamlined, efficient administration right up against the core principles of federal balance and democratic accountability.
The final outcome is far from certain. The future is likely going to be shaped in three key arenas: in the Supreme Court, through political negotiations between the center and the states, and within the broader constitutional debate that's happening all across the country.
And that leaves us with a final, broader question to think about, one that goes far beyond just Chandigarh. In the pursuit of good governance, should speed ever be allowed to trump debate? It's a question with no easy answer, and it's one we'll all have to grapple with as this story unfolds.